That prickle on your skin when they walk into the room, even if they're smiling. That sudden, inexplicable wave of nausea when they offer a compliment that sounds just a little too polished, a little too saccharine. That quiet, insistent hum beneath the surface of your awareness, a dissonant chord in an otherwise perfectly orchestrated social interaction, telling you something is profoundly wrong. You've felt it, we all have. For too long, you've been told to dismiss it, to rationalize it away, to be nice, to give them the benefit of the doubt. Today, we tear down that monument to self-deception. That gut feeling, that deep intuitive bodily sense about someone's hidden animosity, their concealed contempt, their secret festering hate, it's not just real. It's one of your most primal, most potent, and most criminally underused systems for self-protection and navigating the often treacherous terrain of human interaction. This isn't about paranoia, it's about perception. It's about recognizing that your body is a finely tuned instrument, constantly absorbing and processing a universe of data that your conscious mind, mired in social etiquette and wishful thinking, often filters out. Today, we delve into precisely how your body senses their hidden hate, how it deciphers the coded messages of toxicity, and how you can finally learn to trust its wisdom to protect your energy, your sanity, and your path to genuine self-mastery. Prepare to validate what you've always known deep down. Prepare to reclaim a power you were born with. The truth is, the human animal is wired for threat detection. Our ancestors didn't survive by politely ignoring the subtle shift in a predator's gaze or the almost imperceptible change in the wind's direction. They survived by heeding those visceral alerts. In the modern jungle of social dynamics, the predators often wear a different kind of camouflage, a charming smile, a helpful demeanor, a carefully constructed persona. But the threat they pose, especially to your emotional and psychological well-being, can be just as devastating. Their hidden hate, their envy, their resentment, these are potent toxins, and your body knows it. It's time you learn to listen to its warnings with the seriousness they deserve. Let's dissect the mechanisms, the biological and psychological realities behind this profound intuitive capacity. First, let's talk about the unspoken language of microexpressions and body language, your built-in lie detector. You think you're having a normal conversation. They're saying all the right things. Perhaps they're even complimenting you, offering support, feigning camaraderie. But your gut churns. Why? Because while their words might be crafted to deceive, their body rarely lies with such proficiency. Your subconscious mind is a master at picking up on microexpressions, fleeting facial cues that last a fraction of a second, betraying their true underlying emotion. A momentary flash of a sneer, quickly masked by a smile. A subtle tightening around the eyes when you share good news, a flicker of disgust or contempt that your conscious brain might miss but your deeper awareness registers with chilling clarity. Consider Marcus, a talented project lead in a competitive tech firm. His manager, Evelyn, was the picture of mentorship. Publicly, she praised his innovative ideas. Privately, she'd offer constructive criticism that always left him feeling vaguely diminished. Logically, he told himself she was helping him grow. But every time she'd smile and say, "That's interesting, Marcus. Let me help you refine that," he'd feel a knot in his stomach. He started paying closer attention, not to her words, but to her face in those unguarded milliseconds. He saw it, the almost imperceptible lip curl of disdain just before the patronizing smile clicked into place. The slight narrowing of her eyes that wasn't thoughtful but predatory. Her body language, too, told a story her words denied. The way she'd lean back, arms subtly crossed, when he presented his best work, creating a physical barrier. The way her handshake was always firm, but her eyes would dart away, unable to hold genuine, supportive contact. These aren't grand, theatrical gestures of villainy. These are the subtle, almost invisible tells of hidden animosity. The person who says, "I'm so happy for you," while their smile doesn't reach their eyes, or whose posture stiffens ever so slightly. The individual whose vocal tone has a barely perceptible edge of sarcasm or dismissal. even when their words are superficially kind. Your body registers this incongruence. It notes the dissonance between the presented persona and the authentic emotional state. This mismatch is a red flag, a primal signal that something is not as it seems. Carl Jung spoke of the persona, the social mask we wear. When that mask is hiding a festering negativity like hate or intense envy, the cracks, however minute, will show. And your intuitive senses, honed by millennia of survival, are designed to spot those cracks. The negative consequence of ignoring these signals is immense. Marcus, for a long time, dismissed his gut. He allowed Evelyn's carefully crafted persona to override his internal alarm system. The result? She systematically undermined his confidence, subtly sabotaged his projects by withholding key information or redirecting resources, and eventually took credit for his breakthroughs. He felt stuck, his career stagnating, his energy depleted. Because he was trying to thrive in a toxic environment his body was screaming at him to escape. He was, in essence, complicit in his own self-sabotage by not heeding the warnings. The positive outcome of learning to read and trust these signals is profound empowerment. Once Marcus consciously acknowledged the micro-expressions and body language cues, he stopped internalizing Evelyn's negativity as a reflection of his own inadequacy. He started documenting inconsistencies. He became more strategic in his interactions, protecting his ideas and his well-being. He was no longer a naive player in her psychological game. He was awake. So the actionable step here is clear. Become a more conscious observer. Not in a paranoid way, but in a present way. When you interact with someone, especially someone who triggers that vague unease, detach emotionally for a moment. Watch their face, their posture, their gestures. Listen not just to what they say, but how they say it. Notice the subtle shifts, the fleeting expressions, the moments where their body language contradicts their words. Don't immediately judge or accuse, even internally. Simply gather the data. Your gut will thank you for the confirmation. This practice builds your emotional intelligence and refines your ability to recognize toxicity before it engulfs you. Second, we must acknowledge energetic imprints and emotional contagion, feeling their unseen miasma. This is where some people get uncomfortable, dismissing it as woo-woo. But strip away the mystical language and there's a psychological and even physiological reality to it. We talk about someone having bad vibes or good energy. What does this mean? Humans are emotional creatures. Strong, persistent emotions, especially negative ones like suppressed hatred, envy, or resentment, create a kind of internal state that can be perceived by others, even if unconsciously. Think of it as emotional contagion. You know how one person's panic can spread through a crowd, or how one person's genuine joy can lift the spirits of those around them. The same principle applies, albeit more subtly, with hidden, chronic negativity. A person marinating in unexpressed hate isn't just thinking hateful thoughts, their entire physiology is often affected. Their stress levels might be chronically elevated. Their outlook is skewed. This internal state can manifest in incredibly subtle ways that our highly attuned social brains pick up on. It might be in the almost imperceptible tension in their muscles, the lack of genuine warmth in their presence, a certain deadness in their eyes, or an undercurrent of irritability that they constantly try to suppress but which leaks out anyway. Consider Sarah, who had a friend, Chloe. Chloe was always there, always offering a listening ear, always seemingly supportive. Yet after every interaction with Chloe, Sarah felt utterly drained, inexplicably anxious, and sometimes even physically ill, like a low-grade flu. She'd spend hours with Chloe, dissecting her problems, and Chloe would nod and sympathize. But Sarah's gut screamed a silent warning. There was no overt malice, no obvious betrayal. Just this pervasive sense of being leeched, of her energy being siphoned away. It took Sarah years and a painful revelation of Chloe's deep-seated envy and backstabbing gossip to understand that her body had been reacting to Chloe's toxic energetic imprint all along. Chloe wasn't just a frenemy, she was an emotional vampire whose hidden resentment created an atmosphere that Sarah's system registered as profoundly unhealthy. This is critical for self-protection. When you're around someone who secretly despises you or is consumed by envy towards you, your body might go into a low-level stress response. You might feel tense, on edge, unable to relax even if you can't pinpoint why. This is your system reacting to the energetic signature of their negativity. It's trying to tell you, this person is not safe, their internal environment is hostile, and it's affecting you. Ignoring this leads to chronic stress, emotional exhaustion, and a compromised immune system. You're essentially allowing yourself to be slowly poisoned by their unacknowledged toxicity. Protecting your energy isn't just a new age catchphrase, it's a biological imperative. The positive outcome of recognizing these energetic drains is that you can consciously choose to limit or sever contact with such individuals. You reclaim your vitality. You stop feeling perpetually tired and on edge. You create space for relationships that are genuinely nourishing and supportive. The actionable step: pay meticulous attention to how you feel physically and emotionally, not just during but especially after interacting with someone. Do you feel uplifted, energized, calm, or do you feel depleted, anxious, irritable, confused, or even physically unwell? This is crucial data. Your body's reaction is a biofeedback mechanism. If you consistently feel worse after being around a certain person, that's a powerful indicator that their energy, their hidden emotional state, is detrimental to you, regardless of how nice they appear to be. Don't rationalize it, honor it. Journal these feelings, notice patterns. This is you listening to your body's wisdom. Third, we confront the echo of their shadow. When their unowned negativity pings your intuition. This brings us to the profound insights of Carl Jung and his concept of the shadow, the unconscious, disowned parts of ourselves. Hidden hate, deep-seated resentment, crippling envy, these are often aspects of another person's shadow. They are emotions and impulses that the individual cannot consciously accept or integrate, so they are repressed and often projected onto others. When someone secretly hates you, it might not even be about you personally. It could be that you represent something they unconsciously despise or envy in themselves, or something they were taught to reject. Their hate is a reflection of their own inner turmoil, their own unacknowledged darkness. Your intuition, that deep knowing, can often sense this projected shadow. It's like your psyche picks up on the dangerous, unintegrated energy emanating from them. They might be putting on a flawless performance with their persona, saying all the right words, doing all the right things. But if their shadow is seething with resentment towards you, your intuition might register a profound sense of inauthenticity, a dangerous hollowness, or an unnerving intensity that feels off. Imagine a charismatic community leader, Alex, who preaches unity, compassion, and empowerment. People are drawn to Alex's charm and powerful rhetoric, but you, despite the outward positivity, feel a deep, unsettling coldness, a subtle undercurrent of something manipulative and controlling. You can't point to a specific misdeed, but your gut screams danger. Later, it's revealed that Alex's entire public persona is a carefully constructed facade to mask a deeply insecure and narcissistic personality. Alex's empowerment is about control, their compassion a tool for manipulation. Their unacknowledged shadow, their immense need for validation, their fear of irrelevance, their contempt for anyone who doesn't idolize them, was what your intuition was picking up on. Their hidden hate was reserved for anyone who threatened their fragile ego or saw through the mask, and your body sensed that potential threat. This isn't about you psychoanalyzing everyone you meet. It's about recognizing that when someone feels profoundly wrong to you despite a pleasant exterior, it might be your intuition reacting to the dangerous, unintegrated aspects of their psyche. Their hidden hate is a symptom of their own unaddressed shadow issues. The consequence of ignoring this intuitive ping is that you can become ensnared by manipulative individuals, drawn into toxic dynamics, or become a target for their projected negativity. You might find yourself constantly trying to appease someone who can never truly be appeased because their issue isn't with you, but with themselves. This is how you end up feeling stuck and tired of trying. You're wrestling with ghosts, with their unowned darkness. The empowering realization is that your intuition can serve as an early warning system against such individuals. Trusting that off feeling allows you to maintain a healthy distance, to not get drawn into their psychological dramas, and to protect yourself from becoming a scapegoat for their shadow projections. This is a crucial step towards individuation, Jung's term for becoming a whole, integrated self. Part of that journey is learning to accurately perceive and navigate the complexities of others' psyches, including their shadows, without getting entangled. Actionable advice: when someone consistently makes you feel uneasy, and you suspect it's more than just a personality clash, engage in some shadow work of your own first to ensure you're not projecting. Ask yourself, does this person remind me of someone from my past? Am I reacting to a stereotype or a genuine observation? If you've done that honest self-reflection and the unease persists, consider the possibility that you are perceiving their shadow. Journal about it. What specific behaviors, however subtle, trigger this feeling? What does your intuition tell you about their underlying motives or unexpressed emotions? Don't seek to fix them. Seek to understand the signal your body is sending you for your own protection and discernment. Fourth, let's explore the somatic library, how your body stores past experiences of betrayal and deceit. Your body is not just a physical vessel, it's an archive of your experiences, especially emotionally charged ones. Traumatic events, betrayals, experiences with manipulative or hateful people, these leave imprints not just in your mind but in your very tissues. This is what's often referred to as somatic memory. Your body remembers the patterns, the subtle cues, the energetic signatures associated with past hurts, even if your conscious mind has forgotten the details or has tried to rationalize them away. When you encounter a new person who, perhaps unconsciously, exhibits similar micro-behaviors, energetic qualities, or manipulative patterns to someone who harmed you in the past, your somatic library flashes a warning. That gut feeling of instant dislike, distrust, or a desire to recoil is your body saying, "Alert, pattern recognized. This feels like that other time when we got hurt." It's your internal alarm system, calibrated by past experience, trying to prevent you from repeating a painful cycle. Think of Maria, who had a string of friendships with charming, charismatic individuals who eventually proved to be deeply selfish and exploitative. Logically, she berated herself for being a bad judge of character. But her body knew. With each new charismatic acquaintance, she'd feel an initial thrill, quickly followed by a familiar sense of anxiety and a tightening in her chest. For years, she ignored it, telling herself she was being too cynical. Then she started working with a therapist who helped her connect these physical sensations to the early warning signs she had missed in past toxic relationships. The next time she met someone new who was incredibly charming but whose attentiveness felt a little too intense, a little too soon, and who subtly dismissed her boundaries, that old familiar anxiety arose. This time, instead of overriding it, she paid attention. She slowed the relationship down. She observed more carefully. And sure enough, the red flags became more apparent, confirming what her body had tried to tell her from the start. Ignoring this somatic wisdom is a direct path to repeating painful patterns, to feeling stuck in cycles of unhealthy relationships, and to a deep sense of self-sabotage. You keep picking the same type of frenemy or toxic partner because you're not listening to the part of you that remembers the early warning signs. You're tired of trying because you keep trying the same failed strategy, overriding your internal guidance system. The incredible power here is that your body holds the key to breaking these cycles. By learning to tune into these somatic signals, you can identify potentially harmful individuals before they can do significant damage. You can make more discerning choices about who you allow into your life. This isn't about being haunted by the past. It's about using the wisdom gleaned from past experiences stored within your very cells to create a safer, healthier future. The actionable step is to consciously connect your current gut feelings to past experiences. When you get a strong negative gut reaction to someone new, ask yourself, who does this person or this situation remind me of? What past experiences evoked similar physical sensations? Don't dismiss the feeling if you can't immediately make a conscious connection. Sometimes the body remembers what the mind has suppressed. Journal about these sensations. What does the anxiety feel like? Where do you feel it in your body? What are the specific behaviors in the other person that seem to trigger it? By becoming a student of your own somatic responses, you unlock a powerful tool for self-protection and for finally breaking free from destructive relationship patterns. This is profound self-improvement in action. Finally, and perhaps most elusively, we arrive at the voice of the unconscious, intuition as direct knowing. Sometimes, your body's sense of someone's hidden hate isn't based on a clear micro-expression, a discernible energetic drain, a recognized shadow projection, or a remembered somatic pattern. Sometimes it's just a profound, inexplicable, and utterly unshakable sense of no, of wrongness, of danger. This is your intuition in its purest form, your unconscious mind, which processes an infinitely vaster spectrum of information than your conscious awareness, delivering a holistic judgment. It's a synthesis of countless imperceptible cues, a deep pattern recognition that operates below the threshold of conscious thought. Carl Jung believed deeply in the wisdom of the unconscious. He saw it not as a mere repository of repressed desires, but as a source of creativity, guidance, and profound insight. This direct knowing is your unconscious communicating its assessment, often in a way that bypasses logical analysis entirely. It doesn't offer a detailed spreadsheet of reasons, it offers a clear, resonant feeling. Consider David, a seasoned entrepreneur looking for a new business partner. He met someone, Victor, who ticked all the logical boxes: impressive resume, brilliant ideas, excellent connections, charming personality. Everyone on David's advisory board was enthusiastic. All the data said yes. But David felt a deep, persistent unease, a cold knot in his stomach every time he considered sealing the deal. He couldn't articulate why. There were no obvious red flags. Victor was perfectly polite, even deferential. Yet David's gut screamed no. He agonized because logically it made no sense to walk away. But the feeling was so strong, so insistent, he finally decided to trust it. He politely declined the partnership, facing criticism and confusion from his peers. 2 years later, Victor was embroiled in a massive fraud scandal that ruined several of his other partners. David's unconscious had perceived something fundamentally untrustworthy, something deeply misaligned in Victor, long before any concrete evidence emerged. His gut feeling saved his company and his reputation. This is the frontier of trusting your body's wisdom. It requires courage, because you often won't have proof to satisfy your rational mind or to justify your feelings to others. The world often demands logical explanations, and intuition rarely offers them in neat packages. Ignoring this deep, direct knowing because it lacks immediate logical validation is one of the most common ways we betray ourselves and invite toxicity and danger into our lives. We allow ourselves to be gaslit by our own rational minds or by others who tell us we're being too sensitive or irrational. The ultimate act of self-protection and personal empowerment is to learn to honor this voice of the unconscious, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's unpopular, even when you can't fully explain it. This is how you navigate complexity with wisdom. This is how you avoid hidden pitfalls. This is how you align with your deepest truth. The actionable step here is to cultivate stillness and presence to better hear this quieter, deeper voice. Differentiate it from anxiety. Anxiety is often loud, chaotic, future-focused, and full of what-ifs. Intuition is typically a calmer, clearer, more centered knowing, often a simple yes or no, a sense of peace with one path and unease with another. Practice meditation or mindfulness to quiet the mental chatter. When faced with a decision or assessing a person after doing your logical due diligence, create space to just feel. What is your deepest, quietest sense telling you? Start by testing it on smaller decisions and observe the outcomes. Build that muscle of intuitive trust. It is one of the most valuable assets you possess for transforming your life and protecting your well-being. So that gut feeling, it's not some random biological quirk. It's a sophisticated, multi-layered intelligence system. It's your body speaking to you in the language of micro-expressions, energetic shifts, shadow echoes, somatic memories, and profound unconscious knowing. It's constantly scanning your environment, particularly the intricate and often deceptive world of human interaction, for signs of threat, especially the insidious threat of hidden hate, envy, and toxicity. For too long, you've been conditioned to silence this voice, to doubt its validity, to prioritize external logic or social politeness over your own internal compass. That ends now. The brutal truth is that ignoring your gut is an act of self-betrayal. It's how you end up in toxic relationships, soul-crushing jobs, and situations that drain your spirit and derail your progress. It's how you stay stuck, feeling tired of trying because you're fighting battles you should have walked away from, signaled by your own internal wisdom. Reclaiming your ability to trust this sense is not just about avoiding negative people. It's a fundamental pillar of self-respect, emotional intelligence, and personal sovereignty. It's about recognizing that you possess an innate guidance system far more astute than you've been led to believe. Your journey to an unstoppable mindset, to breaking free from self-sabotage, to true personal development, hinges on your willingness to listen to, honor, and act upon these internal signals. This isn't about becoming suspicious of everyone. It's about becoming discerning. It's about valuing your own perception. The call to action is simple, yet profoundly transformative. Commit from this moment forward to listening to your body. When that gut feeling arises, don't dismiss it. Pause, investigate it, journal about it, discuss it with truly trusted individuals who respect your intuition. Take small, measured actions based on these feelings and observe the results. See it as a skill to be honed, an intelligence to be cultivated. This is your internal guardian, your oldest and most loyal advisor. It's time you gave it the respect and attention it deserves. Trust that gut feeling. It's real, and it's there to guide you, protect you, and lead you towards a life of greater authenticity, peace, and power. Your transformation begins not by looking outward for all the answers, but by tuning inward to the profound wisdom your body already holds. Start listening. Start trusting. Start living with the full force of your intuitive intelligence. The subtle signals of hidden hate will no longer have dominion over your peace. You will see them, you will sense them, and you will choose your own path, guided by the undeniable truth of your own experience.